Hey there, adventurers! If you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our amazing community. Don't forget to leave a like if this story hooked you, and be sure to activate the bell so you never miss a new episode. Thanks for watching, and let's keep exploring together. Chapter 6: Entering the Hive. The depths of the Stellar Hive were more disorienting than anyone had anticipated. As the Ebony Legion moved deeper into the ship, it became clear that this place was not simply a vessel. It was alive, shifting and adapting with every step they took. The walls seemed to pulse with a rhythm all their own, as though the hive itself was aware of their presence, watching, waiting. Every creak and groan of the structure set them on edge, each sound amplifying the oppressive atmosphere around them. The corridors stretched out like the arteries of some colossal beast, twisting and turning in a maze designed to disorient and trap intruders. The organic walls, slick and warm, occasionally shifted or rippled as if reacting to their passage. Strange mechanical appendages emerged from the walls at irregular intervals, performing unknown tasks, repairing, maintaining, or perhaps altering the ship itself. The living ship was a constant reminder that they were in enemy territory, surrounded by something more than technology, a sentient, hostile force. Whisper was at the front, leading them through the labyrinth with the aid of her tactical map, but even she was beginning to struggle. The hive was unlike any environment they had trained for. The corridors seemed to change as they moved, and Whisper's map had to be continuously updated as new routes appeared or vanished. Harrington walked with a calm, steady pace, his senses alert. Though he appeared unshaken, the weight of the mission was pressing on him. He could feel the strain in his team, could see the tension in their movements. They were elite soldiers, but this place was something else, alive, hostile, and unsettling. The deeper they went, the more they felt it. The hive wasn't just aware of them, it was adapting to their presence. "Stay focused," Harrington murmured, his voice low but firm. "We stick to the plan." Titan, ever the steady presence, walked beside him, scanning their surroundings with a wary eye. "This place feels like it's hunting us," he said quietly. His hand rested on his weapon, ready for whatever might come from the walls at any moment. Harrington nodded. "It is, but we keep moving." They pressed on deeper into the heart of the hive. The air grew thicker, humid with an unnatural warmth. The low hum of alien machinery echoed around them, and occasionally, strange tubes filled with pulsating fluids would appear along the walls, their contents unknowable. It was like walking through the bowels of a living creature, each step feeling more invasive, more dangerous. Then they entered a large chamber, one unlike the cramped corridors they had been navigating. The space was filled with strange cocoon-like structures, hanging from the ceiling like organic stalactites. Some pulsed with faint light, others were still and silent. In the center of the chamber, a Khardaani worker drone was fused to the wall, its insectoid limbs embedded in the organic surface, connected by tubes and cables that ran into the depths of the ship. Whisper crouched low, her eyes narrowing as she scanned the drone. "It's transmitting something," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's feeding data to the hive." Harrington stepped forward, his eyes fixed on the drone. "Can you stop it?" Whisper hesitated. "I can jam the signal, but if we take it out, the hive might notice." Before Harrington could decide, a sharp, alien noise cut through the chamber. The sound was unmistakable, the chittering of Khardaani soldiers, and they were closing in fast. "Incoming!" Titan barked, raising his weapon. In an instant, the team scattered, taking cover behind the grotesque organic structures. The chamber was suddenly filled with movement as dozens of Khardaani soldiers swarmed into the space, their insectoid limbs clattering against the walls and floor as they closed in on the Legion. They moved in perfect coordination, a hive mind responding to the presence of intruders. Harrington's voice was calm but commanding. "Hold the line," Whisper, "jam their communications." Titan, ironclad, laid down suppressive fire. The battle began in a flash of light and sound. The tight quarters made the engagement brutal. The Khardaani were relentless, attacking from all angles, their armored bodies difficult to penetrate. The team had little room to maneuver, forced to fight in close quarters, using the cover of the alien architecture to shield themselves from the relentless assault. Whisper worked furiously at a nearby terminal, her fingers flying across the controls as she jammed the drone signals, disrupting their communication with the Hive. "Got it," she called out, her voice strained. "They're cut off, but it won't last." Titan and Ironclad were holding the line, their heavy fire cutting down wave after wave of enemies. Ironclad's precision with his heavy weaponry was unmatched, each shot taking down a Khardaani soldier before it could close the distance. But the enemy kept coming, swarming in from every opening, every crack in the walls. "More coming!" Fuse shouted as he hurled an explosive charge into the path of an advancing group of drones. The explosion rocked the chamber, sending debris and alien limbs flying. Harrington moved like a phantom through the chaos, his sharp commands and precise shots keeping the team coordinated. He could see the strain in their faces, the growing exhaustion as the endless swarm pressed down on them. But they fought with a fierceness that matched the relentless enemy. "Push forward," Harrington shouted over the noise. "We need to break through." The team rallied, cutting a path through the Khardaani forces, their discipline and training keeping them alive in the chaos, but the battle took its toll. By the time they managed to fight their way out of the chamber, they were battered, their armor dented, and their supplies running low. As the sounds of battle faded behind them, the team regrouped in a narrow corridor, their breaths heavy, their faces strained. They had survived, but the cost was evident. Whisper wiped the sweat from her brow, her hands trembling slightly. "That was too close. The Hive, it's reacting to us faster now." "Let it react," Harrington said grimly. "We're not done yet." Titan stepped up beside him, his expression grim. "We're running out of time, Captain. That swarm wasn't random. The Hive is onto us. It's like it's funneling us somewhere." Harrington met his gaze. He could see the doubt in Titan's eyes, the fear that they were walking into a trap. "We stick to the mission," he said firmly. "We're close to the reactor. We finish this." They pressed on, but the tension was thick. The Hive was alive around them, shifting, changing, blocking their paths. Ironclad led the way, using his engineering expertise to disable traps and clear the path forward. Mechanical arms and organic tendrils lashed out from the walls, but Ironclad's methodical approach kept them moving. And then, disaster struck. As they neared what they believed to be the final stretch to the reactor, the walls of the Hive shifted violently. Without warning, the structure around them opened up, revealing a swarm of heavily armored Khardaani soldiers, faster and deadlier than the ones they had faced before. "Ambush!" Titan roared, raising his weapon, but the enemy was already upon them. The team fired back, but this swarm was different. The Khardaani soldiers moved with blinding speed, their armor thicker, their strikes more precise. The battle was fierce, chaotic, and in the confusion, Ironclad found himself separated from the group, locked in a desperate struggle with one of the elite Khardaani drones. Harrington saw it happen. One of the drones, faster than the others, lunged at Ironclad with terrifying speed. Ironclad turned to meet it, firing his weapon point blank, but the creature's armor deflected the shots. It closed the distance in a flash, and before Ironclad could react, it drove one of its razor-sharp limbs through his side. "Ironclad!" Harrington shouted, but there was nothing he could do. The rest of the team fought desperately to reach him, but the swarm pressed down on them, forcing them back. Ironclad staggered, his armor cracking under the force of the blow. He fought to stay on his feet, but the damage was too great. The drone twisted its limb, and Ironclad collapsed to the ground, his blood staining the floor beneath him. The team managed to repel the remaining Khardaani soldiers, but the damage was done. Harrington rushed to Ironclad's side, his heart heavy as he saw the extent of the injuries. Ironclad's breathing was labored, his face pale beneath his helmet. "I'm not done yet," Ironclad rasped, his voice weak but determined. "Keep going." Harrington knelt beside him, his jaw clenched. "We're not leaving you here." "You have to," Ironclad insisted, his voice strained. "The mission comes first. Finish it." There was no time to argue, they were too close to the reactor to stop now. Harrington gave Ironclad a nod, the weight of his sacrifice heavy on his shoulders. "We'll finish it," he promised. The team moved on, but the loss of Ironclad weighed heavily on them. His absence was a void they all felt, a reminder of the cost of the mission. Titan's expression was hard, his grief hidden beneath his stoic exterior, but Harrington could see the pain in his eyes. They had lost a brother, but the mission wasn't over. The hive pulsed around them, the walls tightening like the jaws of a trap closing in.